Good morning, Collegiate Academy. This is Mr. Stewart, who serves as your 7th and 8th grade science teacher. This week, we'll be going into week 4, which starts on 5/4/2020, and we'll be going into tides, the Earth, Moon, to Sun system. Ashe? Ashe. Before we get into our lesson, I want to make sure that we go over our affirmation and then our norms, and then we will roll into our lesson. Ashe? Ashe. 1 second. All right. Invictus, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shades, and yet the menace of the years finds me and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Invictus. Ashe? Ashe. Sorry about that. Our norms for the day. Make sure that you're being on time. With that being said, make sure that you're watching the video according to the due date for the actual assignments. Make sure that you frame your camera correctly and that you are fully engaged as if you were in the classroom. Ashe? You want to always mute yourself when not speaking. So that means if the video is going on, you should not be speaking because you should be fully engaged into what's going on in the video to write down the proper notes that you need. Ashe? Ashe. Make sure that your camera is on. Wear school appropriate clothing. That does not mean be lazy or relaxed with a hoodie on. That means that you want to make sure that you are fully engaged in the proper wear and the uniform that you need in order to be unified within the lesson. Ashe? Ashe. Pay attention. Take notes. You want to make sure that you're taking notes and staying on task. Ashe? Ashe. Moving along. Earth's tides, week 4, which begins on 5/4/2020. Our learning objective for the week is I can analyze the Earth to Moon to Sun system by the end of the video. The standard is 3.3.7.B2, which is scale and measurements. One bullet point is I can identify a variety of instruments used to gather evidence about the universe. Patterns. Describe repeating patterns in the sun to earth to moon system and the positions of stars. The scale. I can relate planetary size and distance in our solar system using an appropriate scale model. Ashe? Ashe. Moving along. You're due now, and this is just one of your examples. Always remember to write it down to help you with your assignments. You have 5 for the week. Ashe? The example. How do Earth, the moon, and the sun interact? Once again, the question is, how do Earth, the moon, and the sun interact? Give you a couple seconds to write that down. Good job to everybody that's being engaged. Moving along in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The first session that we're going to go into our lesson is tides and their causes. So what causes these tides in our Earth? A tide is the periodic rise and fall of the water level in a large body of water. So what is a tide? A tide is the periodic rise and fall of the water level in a large body of water. So what's a large body of water? The ocean. The ocean is a large body of water. Ashe? Ashe. High tide is a water level higher than the average sea level. Low tide is a water level lower than the average sea level. So the common ground is that high tide is a water level that is higher, and low tide is a water level that is lower than the average sea level. So write that down. All right, tides on Earth are caused mainly by the pull of the moon's gravity. So how does tides on Earth operate? They're caused mainly by the pull of the moon's gravity. The sun's gravity affects Earth's tides, although not as strong as the moon's gravity. So what affects the Earth's tides? The sun's gravity. The sun's gravity affects Earth's tides, although not as strong as the moon's gravity. Ashe? Ashe. Moving along. Tidal ranges. Tidal range is the difference in levels of ocean water at high tide and low tide. So what differs tidal ranges? Tidal ranges is the difference in levels of ocean water at high tide and low tide. Ashe? Ashe. Spring tides occurs when the sun's effects is added to the moon's effects so that the tidal range is maximized. The sun, earth, and the moon form a straight line. So what happens when the spring tide occurs? It occurs when the sun's effect is added to the moon's effect so that the tidal range is maximized. This means that the sun, earth, and the moon forms a what type of line? A straight line. The sun, earth, and the moon forms a straight line. Whenever the spring tide occurs, when the sun's affected is added to the moon. Ashe? Ashe. Neap tide occurs when the sun's effect cancels the moon's effect so that the tide range is reduced. The sun, earth, and the moon are at a what type of degree angle? A 90-degree angle. Ashe? Ashe. And you may take screenshots as you're moving along. Tidal cycles. Most locations on Earth have 2 low tides and 2 high tides each day. So how many tides do they have? And most locations on Earth have 2 low tides and 2 high tides each day. Ashe? Ashe. Because the moon revolves around Earth slower than Earth rotates, the cycle of tides slightly longer than 24 hours. Ashe? Ashe. So because the moon revolves around Earth slower than Earth rotates, the tides are slightly longer than how many hours? 24 hours, which is how long? 24 hours in a day. It takes about a day. Ashe? Ashe. For your exit ticket, write it down to help you with your assignments. Once again, you have 5 for the week. For your exit ticket, what forces causes the interaction between Earth, the moons, and the sun? I am looking for 2 to 3 sentences. Ashe? Ashe. What forces causes the interactions between Earth, the moons, and the sun? Things to remember. Please use this video to complete the assignments on your checklist. All questions are in order. Ashe? Ashe. Once again, this is for week 4, which starts on 5/4/2020. We will definitely be going into our instruction this week. So I will be fully engaged with you all, and I want to make sure that you all understand what it is that you need done or what you need help with So feel free to reach out by any means necessary. And always remember, before we close out this week, is to be tenacious. Leaders lead from the front and not the back. Ashe? Ashe. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. God bless you all and remain safe. Mr. Stewart loves you.